Today we're going to work on the neck. So we're actually going to begin briefly at the pelvis because our sitting posture has a lot to do with how our spine stacks. So for today, I'm going to use, I think I can ditch this actually. I'm going to use a set of therapy balls inside of a tote. And then I have my alpha ball that's slightly larger. This we'll use against the wall today. We're gonna roll against the wall for our chest. And then I have this big soft ball, the Coregeous ball, to do some rolling across the front of the neck. If you don't have one of those soft balls, you can actually use the smaller ball. The small ball works just fine for that. The big ball just gets the whole surface area, but this actually gets in more specifically. So we can try both. And we'll be using the wall, so make sure you're nearby a clear wall. And then have a block as well, because to finish, we'll place our therapy balls right on top of the block and cradle the head. And I think we can begin. Move this out of the way. You guys are getting to see my very new studio. I literally just cleaned the floor and brought everything and set it up. We're moving this week. So I'm so thrilled. We're out of the studio. We're in a one bedroom and I have my own space. So take a look. Nice clean wall, open space. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. So take your standard set of therapy balls and let's begin on our backs. Lie down with your knees bent. Take your therapy balls right to the sacrum, the widest part of the sacrum, so the top of the triangular bone that forms the back of your pelvis. And just let the pelvis settle. Notice how with the hips just even slightly elevated, it allows the shoulder blades to drop back towards the floor. So feel the heaviness in the back of the shoulder blades. Just gently tuck the chin to feel the length in the back of the neck. And just notice the weight of your head on the floor. Let the head be relaxed, maybe even rock it side to side just a little bit. Even close your eyes and think about letting the eyes float backwards in the eye sockets so that the eyes sink towards the center of the head. Then allow the brain to drop away from the front of the skull, dropping back from the forehead, letting go of the thinking mind. Taking a breath and then settling into the feeling body. Observing the weight of your body, feeling where it touches the earth. And then reconnecting to the sensation of breath as it moves in and out of your body. When we're on our computers, on our phones, all of our awareness goes to that tiny space in the front of our head. And we lose the awareness and perception of where our body is in space. So we're coming out of that place, out of that location right in front of all of our sensory organs, dropping back into the body, listening to the body through sensation. So awakening the sense of sensation through the body rather than the thoughts and vision and a lot of those mind and cognitive function, so that we can come back to ourselves. And now very gently start to integrate some movement, just tipping your pelvis towards your heels. Notice what happens. Pause for a second, maybe feeling it in your body. And then tip the pelvis by tucking the tailbone up towards your head, lengthening the low back. And then start to move with one breath per motion, tipping the tail, inhaling, and then tucking the tail, exhaling. Just a gentle movement of the pelvis. And notice how, as you move the pelvis, the head glides with the pelvis. No need to do anything to the head. Just simply allow the head to follow the hips, observing that connection of how the head sitting on the spine is intimately connected by the position and movement of the pelvis. As the tailbone tips towards the heels, notice how the chin also pulls towards the heels. And then as the tailbone tucks and tailbone moves towards the sky, notice how the chin moves to the sky. And see if you can connect those two movements of head and sacrum. Keeping the eyes gently closed, head heavy, eyes heavy, jaw relaxed. Moving into the pelvis, moving back into awareness of the body. Take 2 more rounds in each direction. And then remove the therapy balls and let the pelvis sink towards the floor. Noticing the change in sensation now and the heaviness in the pelvis. Take a breath in and out, allowing the sensations to subside. And then moving upward now with the therapy balls towards the bottom portion of the rib cage. So I'd say just below bra strap line. So just notice before you put the balls there where it feels tight or heavy in that space below the shoulder blades. And listen to your body and go ahead and place the therapy balls there. And it might be pretty tender at first. It's going to lift the ribs up. And once you land, you might have to adjust a segment or two. And then just take a few breaths, letting your body sink back into the weight of the balls. Notice if there was a reaction of guarding or tightening. Notice what happened in the pelvis, the buttocks, the shoulders, the jaw. And see if you can let go back into the support of the floor beneath you. And then ease into that sensation by returning to your pelvic tilt, feeling how the pelvic tilt moves you over these few segments in the lower thoracic spine. And we're coming here because we're right now around the diaphragm level. And breath controls everything. It's the one exercise we do more than anything else. They say some people say 17,000, some people say up to 25,000 times a day we breathe. So if we want to change our patterns, we have to change our breath. And then find stillness. Finding that just right spot in the space in the bottom of the rib cage below the level of the shoulder blades. And then if it feels okay, hug one knee to chest, taking your hands around your knees, just gently pulling the knee into the chest, increasing the pressure into the therapy balls. No need to really yank, just the gentle compression will start to lengthen out this part of the back where we often start that rounding or that slumping. Try to send the breath right to the lower levels of the ribs, feeling the ribs expand outward like an accordion. And then move back inward towards the therapy balls. Three more rounds of breath. And then switching sides, hug the left knee into the chest, reposition the ball if necessary. Keep the head heavy, eyes heavy, jaw heavy, shoulders relaxed away from the ears, bringing your awareness to the lower rib cage as the breath expands outward, and then in and up. See if you can sense the diaphragm moving, kind of like a jellyfish through the middle of the thorax. Moving down and spreading wide as you breathe in, and then moving up and doming as you exhale. Spend 5 more breaths following that movement right in the center of your torso. And then let the leg come down. And we'll move now into that space between the shoulder blades. So if you'd like to support the hips, if you have a gorgeous ball or even just a slightly larger ball, that alpha ball could work on the sacrum as well, or a foam roller, whatever you have. I like having the support under the pelvis so I don't have to work and hold myself up. I like to do as little as possible so the body can really ease in. So I'm going to cross the arms now, give myself a great big hug, and I'm just going to roll right along that place between the shoulder blades. Just a couple segments at a time, working my way up that space between the shoulder blades. Not efforting too much, just letting the weight of my body and this gentle rocking up and down do the work. Pausing and breathing into where the ball and body meet. Seeing if you can send that breath to the space between the shoulder blades, opening up the mid-back with your breath. Just awakening this area. We'll come into it a little bit more to activate it once we get to the wall. Just exploring up and down, hips pulled to and from the heels. If you'd like, you could even change the direction and do a little rotation like you're hugging and dancing side to side. One segment, then moving down to another.
Really try to let go of the efforting and let your body weight over the balls and let breath, so gravity and breath, do the work. Movement is really secondary. So often less is more. If we get caught up in the movement, we let go of the listening to what does my body need right now in this moment. So if at any time you feel the shoulders tense, the jaw clench, the body start to work, come back to stillness, come back to the breath, and ask yourself, what do I need in this moment right now?
And then remove whatever's supporting your pelvis. And now take the therapy balls out. Just pause for a second now, feeling the rib cage sink into the floor. Feeling how heavy the rib cage can be, noticing if the shoulder blades rest more easily on the floor. And then take your therapy balls out of the tote. So untote your therapy balls. And they're going to come into a similar location, but come a little wider. So what often happens when we're working to and leaning forward, we lose the awareness of how the shoulder blades move on the rib cage. So take your therapy balls to the edges, the inside edges, I'll show you, of the shoulder blades. And I tend to kind of position them there and then roll down and just a little bit. And I tend to have to readjust to make them a bit even. So take a moment to find that just right spot on both sides. So the therapy ball is just resting inside the edge of the shoulder blade. And now bring your shoulder blade, your hands towards your sides. Feel the shoulder blades drop back around the therapy balls if you can. Tuck the tail just a little bit so the low back stays flat, so you're not using the spine to do the work. And now just slide your shoulders up towards your ears, down towards your hips, up towards your ears, down towards your hips. Notice if you can feel the shoulders moving along the rib cage. Therapy ball scrubbing the edge of the shoulder blades, unsticking the shoulder blades from the ribs. Not moving too vigorously, just a gliding, keeping the hands supported on the surface beneath you. Again, doing as little work as possible. Remembering to breathe, connecting the breath and motion. So inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you move down. Do just 2 more rounds. And then allow the shoulders to rest. Reposition the balls if it feels right. And then now inhale, let your shoulders squeeze together, pulling the balls together. And then exhale, shoulders round towards the sky. So you kind of hunch while you're on your back, pulling the shoulder blades apart. And then you pinch the shoulder blades together, chest sticks out a little bit. Try to squeeze the balls closer together. We'll do just a few like this, and then we'll change the arm position and stay with the same motion. Last time, moving the shoulder blades together and then moving the shoulder blades apart. Now bring the arms up towards the sky. So hands right in front of you, palms facing one another. See if you can let the shoulder blades now drop around the therapy balls. And notice if you have to change position. Listen to the sensations of the body, finding that just right spot for you. So the therapy ball can roll around, so the shoulder blade can roll around the therapy ball. Shoulder blades heavy. Breathe in here. And then now as you exhale, reach the shoulder blades apart, trying to press the hands towards the sky. Fingertips reaching to the ceiling. Shoulder blades moving apart. Inhaling, shoulder blades dropping back around the therapy balls. Exhaling, shoulder blades move apart. Again. Couple more rounds, shoulders pinching back, shoulders moving apart. One more round. And then just for a moment, bring your hands down by your sides and roll down. So now the therapy balls are up above the shoulder blades, creating a platform for the bulky upper trap muscle. So you just move up a little bit and you'll feel that place that you always want people to squeeze on the top of your shoulder is lifted up on top of the therapy ball. And you might not feel much at the moment, but now bring the arms up again. And then as you exhale, bring the arms up overhead, letting the arms be heavy. We'll pause for a moment just like this. My hands kind of come a little wide, like somewhere between making a circle like ballerina arms and goalpost arms. And I just let the weight of my arms increase the pressure into the shoulders, compressing the upper traps. And if it feels right, you can lift the hips up onto a platform, a block, foam, gorgeous ball, something to elevate the pelvis if you want just even a little bit more compression. Letting any tension, any stress, any strain just drop and melt out of the shoulder blades back towards the floor. Holding here for about another minute and a half. Come back to the sensation of the body at this time. Feeling where your body's touching the earth. Noticing where you feel the body. Coming back to the eyes resting in the eye sockets. Brain heavy in the skull, dropping back from the forehead. Jaw heavy, so the lips slightly part. And then feel the breath move into the belly. And then feel the breath on the exhale just cascade back out the mouth as the body drops a little bit more towards the floor. Position helping the exhalation. Emphasis on the exhalation, shifting you back into the rest, digest, restore, parasympathetic mode. Stress melting away with each exhale. Focusing on the exhalation. And then let the arms come back by your sides. Remove the ball from under the pelvis, coming back towards the floor. We'll do one more arm motion. Inhale the right arm up overhead. Reach the arms in opposite directions. Hold for 3, 2, 1. And then as you switch, feel how the arms float up And then reach the opposite way. One arm reaches up, one arm reaches down, trying to spread to the walls in opposite directions. Hold for 3, 2, 1. And then as you release, the arms literally float up towards the sky and switch. We'll do 2 more times on each side. Moving at your own pace, reaching and switching. And switching, reaching, switching. Last time. And then both arms come by your side. Remove the therapy balls. Let the head, shoulders, arms all relax. And now I want to come right into the neck. We're going to stay in this position. Legs could stay bent, legs could go long, legs come into butterfly. So let the legs relax in whatever position feels comfortable so that you can, it just might require a change. You might just feel like a change in position now. So that we can focus, draw our awareness to the neck. And I want to start this by lying down so the head's completely supported. And here, you can take, if you have it, the Coregeous ball, but now that we're here and we've done some of this work, I'm actually going to stick with the smaller therapy ball. And I want to come right into the front of the neck, and I'm going to go along a couple places. I'm going to go right along the collarbone, getting the bottom of the sternocleidomastoid as it attaches. And then I'm going to go along the bottom of the jaw. I might even tip the head up a little bit so that I get the front of the neck loosened so that we can actually utilize then that by improving awareness and proprioception to that space. And that's what's going to take us out of that forward head position, allow us to integrate muscles to keep the head on top of the neck. So take your therapy ball. Like I said, I'm going to stick with the standard one. I'm going to come to the left side to begin, right above the collarbone, just outside of the Adam's apple. So I'm going to create a little twist, making sure you're off the throat. So just outside of the throat. I'm going to give a little twist to the tissues underneath the ball. Taking up the slack of the muscles, the fascia, the soft tissue in the front. And then allow that to soften. Then I'm going to move out along the collarbone a little bit more. As I move out just a little bit more, I may even decide to tip my head away. And as I anchor the collarbone and tip my head away, I might feel it pulling under the ball. So it's like I'm creating a little anchor and lengthening against it. So pinning down the collarbone and then stretching away. Letting the head stay supported the whole time on the mat so that you're not using any musculature, like you're just gently rocking the head side to side, like you're rocking a baby, cradling the back of the head, and you might not even move it at all. Working my way out towards the edge of the collarbone. As I get to the edge, that I switched hands, so now I'm reaching across with the opposite arm. And now I'm just going to work up the neck. I'm going to go with the therapy ball and just rotate right along the side of my neck, working up the side of my neck now right to the base of the ear. Taking up the slack by twisting, holding that tension. Feeling it soften, maybe even waiting for that myofascial release sign of warmth, of throbbing, of sighing, of a deep breath, pull in. And then I'm going to end landing at that space right behind the ear, right at the mastoid process, which we'll come back to. And then now I'm going to work my way across the bottom of the jaw from behind the ear. Come right under the jaw. Find the angle or the corner of the jaw, pressing gently into there, twisting the ball, taking up the slack of the tissues. Slowly rotating, rotating the ball, taking up the slack, moving along the bottom of the jawline. So often we forget about the front of the neck, but oftentimes it's the front of the neck that is restricting or pulling the back of the neck into tightness. Or the back of the neck is stretched long and it's trying to hold the head up, but it's what's happening in front that's keeping us where we are. Crossing over center towards the other side. Working your way out towards the angle of the jaw. Very slowly, gently, softly moving, listening to the sensations of the body, asking yourself, what do I need in this moment? Remember, less is more. So just the gentle pressure and twist of the ball is doing a lot. Allowing that ball to come out to just behind and under the ear, feeling the mastoid process where the sternocleidomastoid attaches. Right at the angle of the jaw, twisting, taking up the tension. See if you can get around the edges of the jaw. And then work your way down the side of the neck on this side. Twisting the ball right at the transverse processes. Finding any tender spots, using this gentle pressure so that we don't create any reactivity or protection or guarding in the neck. Letting the head feel supported the entire time so that nothing has to be done. Sending your breath right into where the ball and body meet. Coming back to the breath and waiting for that sigh of release. Working your way back down to the collarbone. And then we'll finish that square, that circle around the neck, coming back towards where the collarbones join. Moving right along the top edge, top border of the collarbone, turning the head now the opposite direction. Feeling how you create a little pin and stretch just by holding the ball and the collarbone down and really gently moving the head away. Keeping the jaw soft, eyes soft, brain heavy. Let go of thinking and just let your body sensations be your guide. Taking about 5 more breaths. And then maybe the knees come up if they were down. Let the ball fall away. And then just do a couple of chin tucks here. Tucking the chin towards the throat, lengthening out the back of the neck. Noticing if the chin can come closer to the throat. Noticing if there's more of a nod available. And then we'll come into the back of the head in a few moments. But now I want to move up towards the wall to get the front of the chest more. So we just got the front of the neck. We kind of moved up the back, came into the neck. Now we'll get the front of the chest. So you get both front and back. So take your, I'm going to use my alpha ball, slightly bigger ball. And we're going to roll against the wall. I'm going to make you stand up now, work a little bit. If you want to stay on the floor, you can do this on your belly. It's totally up to you. I feel like I have this feeling you guys are moving a little slow. It can be done on the floor, but I do want to do one muscle integration at the wall to really feel the movement of posture with the wall as the guide. So I encourage you to come up to the wall. I'm going to be facing away. Take the therapy ball. Doesn't matter what side. You're going to come right below the collarbone, just outside the chest bone, and roll. Am I frozen? Oh, I think I'm back. Okay, so ball, sorry about that. I think I froze for a sec. So ball right along the front of the chest, come to the wall. As much as you want, you can lean in. The more you walk the feet away, the more weight there is. You're going to come now to the bottom edge of the collarbone, rolling out, covering that entire space from chest bone to shoulder. Moving down through the first 5 ribs or so, staying just above the nipple line, and feeling how the fibers direct you even on an angle a little bit. And all you're doing is shifting your weight side to side so the ball can move over the front of your body. And then if you'd like, as you find a position of sensation, pause and breathe. Use the breath to deepen in. The breath is the best way to mobilize the rib cage. So you can move or you can stay still and breathe. Listen to what your body's asking for in this moment. Find a sensation, pause in stillness there, and then ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? How can I explore it with curiosity and kindness? You don't need to make it go away. The body will spontaneously start to soften if you welcome that sensation and if you approach it with kindness and curiosity. So remember, less is more. About 3 more breaths here. And then I want to take the arm up to the wall because I want to use the arm as a lever. So bring your arm out to the side and let your head rest on the wall. And now I want to create an angel arm. We left this out when we were on our back, knowing that I would do it here. And I want you to reach up towards a Y and then pull the arm towards your side, moving the pec underneath the ball, getting some cross friction massage, getting some functional mobilization, freeing up the pec in the mid-range. And then let's actually even engage the back body by, if it's available, pulling the arm off the wall so that the arm's hovering away from the wall, creating that angel arm type motion, activating the back body to free up the front body. Do 2 more rounds. Last round. And then releasing, just rolling the shoulder blades a couple of times, feeling the difference between the sides. And then come to the other side. Starting just outside of the chest bone, outside the sternum, and just under the collarbone or under the clavicle, shifting your weight from foot to foot. As you're shifting, feeling how the body moves over the ball, exploring the bottom edge just underneath the clavicle, underneath the collarbone, as well as about the top 5 ribs or so. Getting into the attachment points of the pectoralis minor, which tip the shoulders forward. When you find a spot of sensation, you can pause in stillness. Letting your breath meet the ball, moving where ball and body meet. Having curiosity for what arises and seeing if you can welcome and lean into the sensation. Notice if there's that kind of desire to make it go away. If so, can you change your relationship to it? Welcoming it, observing it, asking it what it needs. And then you'll find the body starts to spontaneously allow it to soften. And when you're ready, let your left arm or whatever arm you're on come up towards the wall and start to create snow angels, first letting the arm just brush along the wall, moving through the meaty part of the pec, mobilizing across the fibers and doing some functional mobilization or mobilization with movement. And then if you have that range available, pull the arm off of the wall, engage the middle back, see if you can activate the back body, engaging the opposites. So engaging the back to free up the front. Take one more round. And then release the arm, release the ball. Do a couple of shoulder rolls. And then stay standing for just a moment, because I want to do one postural integration move here before we finish on our backs. So I just got to move this. Walk your feet about 1.5 feet away from the wall so that the hips are up against the wall. And drop your ball if you're still holding it so that your arms are free. And let your whole pelvis come to the wall. Now pull the abdominals in so that the abdominals press into the wall. Now bring your hands to the lower ribs. Can you get the backs of the lower ribs to come onto the wall? The chest and head are probably away. So now your pelvis, whole low back, bottom of the ribs are on the wall. Now breathe in here. As you exhale, see if you can roll the middle back towards the wall without letting go of the low back or the pelvis. And then can you tuck the chin, pulling the head back towards the wall? Try to feel as much of the spine on the wall as possible. If the head's tipping upward, try to keep the gaze at horizon. It's okay if you don't touch the wall. I'd rather have the chin at neutral so the base of the head touches the wall. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try to come off of the wall one segment at a time, then roll up the wall one segment at a time. So bring your chin to your chest, feeling the whole cervical spine start to round. Start to round the shoulders so that you roll the upper thoracic segments. Start to roll that space between the shoulder blades, lower ribs, lower back. Now just sacrum's on the wall. Press the sacrum into the wall. Back of the pelvis is on the wall. Exhale, pull the belly in. Low back comes on the wall. Mid back comes on the wall. Back of the head comes on the wall if it's available. Rolling down, tuck the chin. Like a slinky, feel the spine rolling off the wall, like you're unsnapping each vertebrae from the wall till just the sacrum is touching. And then snap each segment back up on the wall. Pausing and breathing when you get to those spots that feel sticky. Seeing if you can pull the head back to approximate the wall. One more round, rolling down. Feeling every segment move. And then rolling up, pull the navel in, pull the lower ribs in, keep the lower ribs in. Using the breath to assist. Pulling the head back over the shoulders. See if you can get that retraction of the neck as you tuck the chin. And then release. This is a nice thing to practice. And you'll notice those places, none of us are going to be perfect, but you'll notice the places where you move smoothly along the wall. And then you'll notice the places that want to come off of the wall or that get stuck or pulled away. You'll feel those blocks in the motion. So that's a nice thing to do if you find yourself sitting and like rolling forward. Just do a few wall rolls to reconnect to that activation of the back body. So let's come back down to the floor. I saved the best for last. Take your therapy balls into the tote. Find your block. And let's just finish with what everybody loves, a nice suboccipital release. Also, a still point, resetting the nervous system, resetting the breath, unsticking the head from the top of the spine. Take your therapy balls on top of your block, right into the occipital ridge, that bony ridge at the back of your spine. Push the balls up into the ridge And then just gently tuck the chin, elongating that space right where the head and the top of the neck meet. And the block creates a little platform. And then you can just do a couple of nods here. Legs can go into whatever position is comfortable, allowing your body to drop into a position of complete support, letting go of any efforting, feeling back into the body, front of the body relaxed, dropping into the back body, feeling back body heavy as it falls into the support of the ground beneath you. Whole body supported and at ease. Take a final scan and notice if there's anywhere you're still holding. If you can relax 10% more. The eyes and the eye sockets, the jaw, the breath, the buttocks, even the feet and toes. Scan from head to toe, releasing any last bit of tension. Then sense the breath moving freely in and out of the body. No need to change. Sensing the body breathe itself. Feel yourself supported externally and internally. Allowing you to let go even a little bit more into sensations of support and ease. Letting the head be cradled, whole body cradled. Letting go of any thoughts as they arise, letting them rise up and away, just like a helium balloon. Freeing the thoughts, body will continue to produce thoughts, but let them rise and drift away, coming back to the sensation of the body resting. And then gently blink the eyes open. As you blink the eyes open in this supported position, let's reintegrate the eyes, doing a couple circles clockwise, both eyes moving clockwise in the eye sockets. Feel the eyes move as large of perimeter, as large a circumference as possible. Moving smoothly and slowly, and then pausing at the top, circling the eyes the other way, smooth, slow motion, eyes moving together. Expand and extend that range, the peripheral vision, the horizon, looking out into the distance, is associated with that parasympathetic nervous system. It's when we get single pointed focus and gaze that we start to shift into that intensity. So if your eyes become tired, if they become strained, try a few eye circles to reset. And then remove your therapy balls, roll to your side. Let the head settle for a second, reconnecting to gravity. And then when you're ready, pressing yourself back up to sit to complete this circle, this cycle of the class, finishing where we began. Thank you so much for your time and your practice.